And we're back, and it is now time to play my favorite game, Awful or Awesome. I'm going to name 3 things, and we each have to decide if they're awful or awesome, and be prepared to defend your answers. Ready?
Ready.
First up is standardized tests. I'm going to say awful, because I did not do well on mine, and I ended up in remedial math in college, and I'm really good at math. Remedial math, because
I actually belonged in remedial math in college, so I was totally okay being there. But I'm gonna go awful because when I was in the 8th grade, we had to take a test to place into English and math in high school, and I had the flu, and there were some bad things going on in my life at the time. I was in a weird place, but the flu, I had a headache, I was nauseous and everything. I kind of blew off the test because it wasn't like this is gonna count towards your grade. And I wound up being both in like the honors program and the remedial one at the same time in 9th grade. All my teachers are trying to get me out of this because they're like, he doesn't belong in this lab thing, but it was a state mandate. Couldn't do anything. It's just like one day, one stupid test can have this, like for me, a huge time waster for the rest of the year. So awful.
Yeah, awful. Clelia?
I'm definitely going to say awful. I don't. It's so awful that I didn't even get into remedial math because I didn't even take a math class in college because I didn't finish college.
Oh
so
my God.
That's how awful it is.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're all on the same page, and I'm so glad that finally universities are starting to be like, yeah, we don't actually need the SATs. If you've got like a good GPA, you've got some good letters of recommendation, SATs, I mean, they shouldn't be as important as they have been up until now. So I'm glad.
Do you know if they did them last year?
Oh, I don't know.
I just mean because of COVID. Like, was everybody, because at that point everybody was remote.
No, I think they didn't count.
You're right.
Because they would have taken them around like May, June.
Right. They didn't count.
Yeah, they didn't count.
Huh.
But you still. My problem is you still have to pass the tests when you're in college.
Right.
Yeah.
So like some of us just don't learn in that type, or we learn, but we don't necessarily, I don't know.
Bad test taker.
Can't,
like that just
we're
happens.
Not test takers.
Yeah.
See, I was assuming I went straight to like the big ticket ones, like the SATs, the HSPAs, all that. I didn't even think about your day-to-day test being in standardized format. I had a professor in college who had a crappy Scantron, and you would wind up getting like C's and D's on every test. So you would have to go into his office hours and go over the test with him, and he'd be like, "Well, see, the answer for this one was D," and you'd be like, "Oh, but I put D," and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, then that's correct." And you'd go through the whole test, and by the time you were done, you had an A. But like, it's just awful.
Yeah. At least you tried. I just figured if you put C's down the line, I was like, I'd get at least a D.
25%, right?
25%, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm taking 2 courses on study.com right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a business course and a marketing course. And and I don't really know how this works because I'm going to transition the credits to a college for my BA, but they to make you take like a mini quiz to see where you place in the class, in this particular class. So I guess you get to like skip certain things. So I skipped a bunch. So I was like super happy about it. Well, then I got into the class and it was like, I still had like 9 chapters to go. And they're not 9 chapters like textbook chapters like back in the 90s.
Yeah.
They are like long, like in that one chapter, there's like 10 mini chapters. And then after every mini chapter, you have like a mini quiz. And they just keep telling me that I fail. And I'm like, but I know all of this other stuff. I can't be that stupid. So
that's awful.
It's like I passed the test.
Yeah. Oh my God. So one of these days, I think the awful or awesome has to be online learning, online education, virtual. Yeah, I don't even know what they call it, but it's like, it's what everybody's doing right now. And I feel like it's got varying degrees of success and failure depending on what kind of a learner you are and whether or not you're an introvert or an extrovert. And you know, all of that stuff. That's hard. That's hard.
That's hard.
All right. Well, on that happy note, we're going to move on. The next one in Awful or Awesome is movie releases in COVID. And by this, I mean, remember like back when we used to have movie releases with a red carpet and celebrities and in dresses and stuff, and now it's just straight to Netflix. Like such a letdown. But how else would they get the movie out, right?
And it's like $30.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's too expensive.
Yeah, Mulan. My kids want Mulan. $30.
If you think about what you would have spent going to see Mulan in the theaters, you know, like two kids plus you know, popcorn, drinks, I don't know, like that could
But
rack
you
up
pay
pretty
for the
quickly too.
experience.
Yeah.
Like now
No,
I'm
you're
in my
totally right. Yeah.
pajamas. Okay, I bought my own popcorn. I'm
Yep.
probably gonna fall asleep because I'm on my couch, and I paid $30.
Yeah.
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 I don't know what the right answer is, you know, because the right answer, I guess, that the studios have been taking is just not putting out most movies. I mean, Ghostbusters got delayed, Top Gun got delayed, the Black Widow, Wonder Woman, everything. You know, it's all being delayed. James Bond.
How,
So yeah,
how long is that sustainable though? Because you know how
it's
like
really not.
right? Because I'm thinking each movie costs a certain amount to be made, and they hope to make that back in the box office.
Right.
I mean, the studio still has to like make payroll and keep the lights on and stuff. How are they? Yeah,
It's not even just making the money back on those individual films. Like the COVID kind of hit early spring, or let's say like
yeah,
mid-spring, so
yeah.
we missed the summer blockbuster period, and those
Right.
summer blockbusters are what kind of bankroll every movie that a studio makes. You know, like when you go to see something like Parasite, Bombshell, Judy, those movies are not made to make like Avengers Endgame money. Avengers Endgame
Right.
bankrolls the studio so that they can
Sure.
make things that are more artistic. And then it goes the same way for the movie theaters themselves. I mean, like an Avengers Endgame is supposed to, you know, kind of be your Black Friday and get you through like, you know, the slower
Slower.
months.
Yeah.
As we filmed this yesterday, the movie theater I've been going to for 20 years, AMC Hamilton 24 in Trenton closed permanently, you know, and as of today when we filmed this, Regal Cinemas announced that they're closing all their theaters in America because they were waiting on Bond. You know, they were kind of putting all their cards on that James Bond table. And as soon as MGM said, yeah, we can't put out Bond now, they were like, well, then we have no reason to stay open. So,
All of the Regals,
So
all of them in
sad.
America?
yeah. I think at this point they were down to just New York and California anyway, but yeah.
God.
And I'm getting the impression that that might not be permanent. It might be like, hopefully just until this whole COVID thing goes
Well,
away.
it could
But
be
at
so
this
they
point,
don't
I
have
don't
to
know
pay
when that's going to
rent.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, are they leasing their properties? Because that would make sense.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know, but it could be a good time for Blockbuster to come back.
Blockbuster Video. Yeah.
Remember, like the new movies came out on like Tuesday, and
Yeah.
oh, so much fun. You could only take
Right.
out 3.
Right.
Oh,
That was for
always
your benefit, because God forbid you be like 10 hours late. You know, those 3
Right.
movies would rack up pretty quickly in late fees.
yeah.
And
You know
do you
what? The
remember?
business model probably could have sustained if they let me take out 10.
There you
Maybe.
go.
Do you remember like needing to get there on a Friday night by like 4 o'clock? Because if you weren't there early on a Friday, all the good stuff would be gone and you'd be left with like some 5-year-old, I don't even know what, you know.
And then the new movies were always like, as soon as you walked in on the left, and there was like
Yeah.
yellow around it or orange, something of that sort. Yeah. Oh,
Who knew
Yeah.
there was
I
this
love
much
Blockbuster.
nostalgia for Blockbuster?
God, I know. And the
I
row
mean,
of
it's like-
candy. The row of candy that you had to walk past to get, oh my God. I could never pass up the lemon heads. I would always get like the jumbo box of like lemon heads. I don't know
like
how
Bunch
it's
of
So it
Candy.
makes me think, you know, like we lost Blockbuster at some point, and now we're losing our movie theaters. This is going beyond losing businesses. We're losing our culture, and you know that's really upsetting to me on a deep level, especially as a movie fan.
I want to mock you for assigning culture to Blockbuster, but
No,
I know how important
I'm not going to allow that.
Okay, fine.
It's so true, though. I mean, we have, what is it, Red Box?
Red
or
Box.
something?
Yeah,
But it's just like
fine.
not the same.
No.
No.
Well, you were just saying like it's just not the same in general. Paying $30 to see Mulan in your house. I mean, Redbox is obviously far less expensive than that, but even still, it's the same idea. So
Yeah.
I don't
Right
know.
on.
Like I can't even really think of like great movies that have come out this year. If we hold the Oscars today, I think Onward wins. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That was so, oh my gosh, with two
Was it
boys.
though? No, I cried like a baby. I'm not gonna say it was a bad movie. I'm just saying any other year, on Pixar is not walking away with this thing.
All right.
So, how about
Kate's giving
Outpost?
us a look because Kate spent like 10 minutes watching that movie, turned it off. She was done.
I got through 10 minutes of it and I was like, this is crap. I need to like
Yeah.
go back, I guess. I'm being a
Yeah.
Philistine. I need to go back.
There's so many good things about it. I don't know, maybe.
I don't know.
Mhm.
What
I
about
did not care.
do you guys watch Outpost?
No.
No, what's that?
Ooh, it's a war movie. It has some big names in it, and oh, I forgot who. I'm not good with actors. But one of the main actors, like something happens that doesn't happen in like any movie ever. I can't even say it. I can't ruin
No,
it.
I get you. It's kind of the good place effect. We talked about this on our last couple
Yeah.
episodes. You know, you want to tell them, but if you do, you give away the whole thing, and then you just got to trust.
Yeah. Trust.
All
Totally.
right, I
All
wrote it
right.
down. I wrote it
Kate,
down. I'll
what's your
check it
last
out.
one?
The last one is collections, and I don't mean this in like a business, like sending out invoices kind of way. I mean like, do you collect any or collections in general, like collecting? Like I collect teacups. I think they're fun. They're antique. They're all mismatched, and I enjoy drinking champagne out of them. They're lovely. It's wonderful. So
I've
I'm
come
gonna
to
say
learn that the
awesome.
mix matching thing is better because if one of them breaks, you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about the whole set being, yeah.
totally,
But the
totally.
fact that you're drinking champagne out of tea, I mean, I think the teacups part
Don't
is cute.
judge.
The champagne and the
Listen, it's
teacup.
COVID times. It's COVID times, okay? I do what I need to do.
More power to you. Now I know what to get you.
All right, so collections. I'm awesome. What do you guys think?
I think it's always nice to collect things, like, yeah. Like I said earlier, I'm definitely in that digital place in my life now. So like my big movie collection has gone digital, and I'm happier for it, but yeah.
Yeah, Clelia?
So I unfortunately collect shoes and purses.
Oh, it's an
I
expensive
mean,
collection.
I mean, you
it's an
say
expensive
unfortunately. Why is it unfortunate?
because
Space?
it's no, I mean it's expensive, and I have two children. I have my shopping under control though. I don't need to. We don't need to discuss this further. It's just
Okay.
it's a problem my husband sees.
I used to be with you. I used to do shoes. In fact, I have a whole photo album on my Facebook called Shoebox. And the way that I could justify it was that I wouldn't spend more than $40 on a pair of shoes. And so I was not buying, red bottomed anything. They were all very Amazon-y. But they were really fun, and I loved how they added a little personality to every outfit. And I don't know. I feel that your shoe collection. I feel that.
Yeah, unfortunately, my shoe collection is not really being utilized right now. So that was kind of like my staple, where it was my shoes. I had all types of pretty colors and funky, and I just can't wear them anymore. So and I'm actually in denial because I'm one of those people who go into my closet and they're just perfectly lined up in like color and size and depending on season, and I just don't want to sell them.
Mm-mm. No,
I,
don't.
I
COVID will end
no.
someday. Don't ever sell them. Oh my gosh.
Someday. That's so
Someday.
Someday. I mean, that was meant to be optimistic, but
Vinny, how do you feel about shoes?
I'm going to give you the husband's perspective on this, let's say. I have something like 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. It's like, these are the black dress shoes, these are the sneakers, these are the sandals, these are the brown dress shoes. Like there's just like one in every category. And as one of them gets a little too, like ratty, whatever, we replace that with one similar to it. She, the wife, has many, 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 many shoes. I don't know if I would call it a collection per se, but they're everywhere. And I don't mind that she has lots of shoes. It's totally fine. As long as there is a time and a place for all of them. Like you say, you have them in your closet, lined up, perfectly nice, whatever. I'm tripping over shoes everywhere. And what sets me off is when somebody is like, and when I say somebody, I mean her, because it's not like my kid is walking around like, whatever.
Somebody.
But when she says something like, hey, you have way too many shoes, you know, or like, hey, you know, like, and then I'm just like, me? You know, so
Are we sure?
always be cool about it, you know, and keep them kind of like in their own little area and be totally fine.
Oh my
So my
gosh.
husband takes off his shoes as soon as he walks in the door. So now my children have learned to take their shoes off as soon as they enter the door. And the problem is I'm the first one up very early in the morning at like 5:30, and I have tripped and gone head first into my front door, or walked in and like rushed in for something and tripped over their shoes. So I feel you.
See, and you were worried you were the one messing everybody up, you know.
Nope.
I actually don't have a problem. I can't wait to tell him.
Not even.